Hello, it's your favorite sports Unc here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to join the fastest growing community on YouTube. Remember, Nightcap doesn't happen without you. So please subscribe or you're going to make Ocho cry. Texas, the Longhorns, knocked out the Aggies at the SEC championship game by dominating the second half. They outscored the Aggies in the second half, Ocho, 24-7. Arch, on third and short, they put the ball in his hand, quarterback draw, and he went to the house 35 yards, threw some great passes in the second half, 14-29, 179, one touchdown, but they ran the ball. Finally, Texas running game, they were able to run the football. 35 carries, 218 yards, 2 touchdowns, as it was enough at home to take down the number 3 Texas A&M Aggies by the score of 27-17. Marcel Reed had a rough one. 20-32, 180, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. You kind of saw where this was heading. Because South Carolina had them down real bad. And Carolina let them off the hook because their quarterback played terribly. Lenore Sellers played really bad in the second half. And he allowed Texas A&M to get back in the game. But give Texas credit. They got conservative. They had a lead. What was the lead? 17? The score was 17-10? Yeah, 17-10. They got the ball. And then for some reason, Sark got conservative. And then they go down and score. And then the next thing, Sark said, you know what? I'm done with this. Now he called the game aggressively. Come out there first pass, sail route to the tight end, then another pass, and then Arch Manning took it to the house for 35 yards, and they win 27-17. Ocho, how impressive did you think the Longhorns looked?
I think they looked very impressive. Obviously, they didn't have to put the ball in Arch Manning's hands for them to actually win the game. He didn't have to throw the team to a victory. They ran the ball so well. They had a balance.
Turn your mic on, Ocho.
The hell? Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I was saying they ran the ball so well and had a balanced attack where Arch Manning didn't have to put the brunt of the offense on his shoulders. So when it was time to throw the ball, it was very easy for him to be able to throw the ball and operate from the pocket, even though he's able to extend plays and do what he can with his legs. But because they ran the ball so well, they was able to throw it. That's why they were so efficient throwing the ball in the air. They played really good goddamn defense. Obviously, what I didn't like is when you play against a better college team that has a great offense, a better offense than what they saw tonight in Texas A&M. The conservative play calling has to stop. You can't have those lapses. You can't have those lapses offensively where we decide, okay, I don't want to put the ball in harm's way, so now I'm going to call plays conservatively. You can't. You're going to play better teams, and better teams are going to beat you when you decide to do stuff like that.
Because what happens is that you go conservative. So you run the ball on first and second down. Now they blitz you on third down and get your ass off the field. So what you should have done is come out and throw the ball on first down because they're anticipating you. What he did the last time he got the ball, he anticipated them go come out. You know what? They're going to look for us to run the ball again. No, we're not going to do that. They come with the sail route. Now it's a big time first down. Now you got some momentum. Now you got them on the heels, and the D coordinator doesn't really know what he's going to do. Is he going to throw it? Is he going to run it? Is he just going to try to shoot time off the clock? I really don't know what to anticipate here. And then I love the quarterback draw. You bring the tight end in motion, and he's your lead backer. Your lead blocker. That was a great call by Sark. The one thing we know about Sark, and one of the reasons why Arch Manning went there, he's a quarterback whisperer. You look at who he's worked with in the past and the success that those guys have had. He worked with Mac Jones. He worked with Matt Leinart and Carson Palmer. He's worked with some of the better prototypical quarterbacks that when they go to the league, they're very well prepared. And so I think that's one of the things, because obviously Arch Manning wants to go to the NFL like his uncle, Peyton and Eli. And I need to get prepared, because I can't get prepared once I get there. I need to be prepared once I arrive there. And so I think this was a great matchup. A lot of people probably thought he would go to his dad's alma mater, Ole Miss. Or maybe he followed his big uncle Peyton to Tennessee. But he went to Texas. That's what Sark was, and everything seems to be working out really, really well. But I was really impressed with Texas. This was, now that this is back on the schedule. They hadn't played each other in a very long time, because obviously Texas was in one conference, and A&M had gone left and gone to the SEC. Now they're both in the SEC. Now we can expect this rivalry to continue, just like Texas Oklahoma. Some rivalries need to continue whether they're in the same conference or not. If it's an out of schedule, something, even let's just say for some unforeseen reason, Ohio State or Michigan were to lead the Big Ten. I don't care. I don't care where y'all go. Y'all go to Division III. We playing y'all ass every year. 1 year it's in Michigan, the next year it's in Ohio State. That's because these rivals have been going on for so long. It's just like going to church. It's like you grew up in the church. Okay, we grew up watching these rivalries. Auburn, Alabama, Michigan, Ohio State. That's what it should be. But, man, I was very, very impressed with Texas tonight. That defense did a great job on Marcel Reed. Limited them to 180 yards passing. Didn't really get beat. They had 34 rush attempts for, 157 yards. So that's a little about 4.5 yards a carry. You can live with that. But Texas running game is really what won this ball game for us. Bears with us, Chad. Ocho signal went out for a second. But it was their running game because we had talked about all year long about Texas not being able to run the football. And finally tonight, when they really absolutely needed to run the football and they absolutely had to run the football, they were able to run the football. Wisner did a tremendous job, 19 rushes, 155 yards. We mentioned Arch Manning had that 35-yard touchdown. He had 7 carries for 53 yards on a touchdown. And Townsend, they ran a great they put him in a wing set, the tight end, and they were looking for something else, and they handed it to him, and he goes in for like a 2-yard touchdown run. So I thought Texas' ability to run the football tonight was really the difference in the ball game because I don't believe Arch Manning, with that vaunted pass rush that Texas A&M have, I don't believe Arch Manning could have just dropped back and threw Texas to a victory. Because they were able to run the football, because they're able to play action off of it, they were able to win this game. And I was very, very impressed with the Texas Longhorn. They got something going. Do I believe Arch Manning is coming back? Yes, I absolutely do. Do I think he'll be better next year than he was this year? Because this is really his first year starting. Quinn Ewers was there, and yeah, he filled in, but beating San Jose State and beating some of those lower-tier teams, that doesn't prepare you for the next level that you anticipate playing at. And so I was really impressed, especially the back half of this season. Yeah, we saw him against Ohio State, and we saw him early in the year, and most people, I know I wasn't very impressed, but if you look at those last 4 or 5 games that he's played, he's impressed me. The way he's thrown the football, the poise in which he's shown, I'm very, very impressed with Arch Manning, and I think yeah, he's going to be what they thought he was going to be, which is a top 3, top 4 pick. Who knows, maybe even a number 1 pick like his uncles Peyton and Eli were. But it was a very impressive win, and I know Sark is extremely happy with what transpired today. Everybody was looking forward to this game. Texas A&M, they're supposed to play each other, and I'm glad this rivalry was renewed, and Texas were able to pull it out. We'll see what happens to them. I don't think they have a chance to go at 9-3. I don't think they have a chance to make the college football playoff. Okay, after the game, Sark lobbied for his team to make the college football playoff. That team was undefeated, number 3 in the country. A lot of pundits out there think they're the number 1 team in the country. Nobody thinks that, Sark, but we love you. We just beat them by 10. If you really look at the body of work, you really look at the SEC and what we have to go through every week, you look at the non-conference schedule. We played where we went to Ohio State week 1 and lost by 7. We outgained them by nearly 200 yards. We got a really good football team, and it would be a disservice to our sport if the team's not in the playoff, we went and scheduled that non-conference game. Because if we're 10-2, it's not a question. But we were willing to go play that game. Is that what college football is about? Don't play anybody and have a good record or play the best and put the best teams in the playoff. We're one of the best teams.
Wait.
I agree. But it was one of the things that kept Alabama out of it last year.
Right.
I don't believe because there are a lot of one loss and 2 loss teams that, so if Georgia goes to the because Georgia beat Texas.
Yes.
So that would be a disservice to them if they lost the SEC championship game and not make the college football playoff, but a team that we beat does.
They get a chance to make it.
Right. So I get what Sark said, and I do. I believe they're one of the better teams, but 3 losses is really, it's going to be really hard for you to convince the committee, considering the one and 2 loss teams that are in front of you, especially in the SEC.
Yeah, but
Oklahoma has a compelling case.
But knowing how the committee is, especially when it comes down to the process, sometimes not really understanding how they come up with the decision making when it comes to certain teams going in. Do you think they still have a good chance?
No. Ohio State is undefeated. Even if they lose in the Big Ten championship, they're going. Indiana is undefeated. Even if they lose in the Big Ten championship, they're going. Texas A&M, they have 1 loss. Georgia, if they lose, they'll have 2 losses. Texas Tech, they have 1 loss. If they lose, they'll have 2 losses. Oregon has 1 loss. SEC, Ole Miss, in the same conference that Texas is in, they have 1 loss. Oklahoma has 2 losses. They don't play anymore. Notre Dame has 2 losses. Alabama has 2 losses. BYU, 1 loss. Miami, 2 losses. Utah, 2 losses. There are 15 teams.
Damn.
15. Now, if Vanderbilt wins tomorrow, they'll be 10-2. They play Tennessee. It's 15 teams that has fewer losses and ranked above you.
Yes.
So I don't.
Was his compelling argument the fact that the schedule that they have is much more difficult than everyone else's? The reason why they have 2 losses?
He's saying our non-conference. One of our losses of the 3 is that at number 1 Ohio State. And we lost by, I think he said he lost by 7 points. I forget, that was the very first game of the season. But guess who else is in that same conference you're in? Alabama, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, Georgia, A&M. They played the exact same schedule except the non-conference. They lost 14-7, so they lost by 7 points. So, but you lost to Florida.
Ooh.
You lost to Florida. So you lost to Florida, you lost to Ohio State. Who's the other loss to? You lost to Georgia. So how do you, let's just say for the sake of argument, Ocho, Georgia goes to the SEC championship game and they lose again. How do you put Texas in over Georgia when Georgia beat them head to head 35-10?
Yeah.
And it wasn't close. Everybody remembers that game. That game wasn't close.
Yeah. And the funny thing about it, too, the committee can look at the type of team Florida is and how bad they've been. They've been extremely up and down all season long. And if you're one of the better teams that's supposed to be making the playoffs, that's a game you're actually supposed to win. There are no excuses about that. So that's definitely, going to be somewhat of a stain. The committee going to take that into account where they could be on the outside looking in.
The Big 12 has a championship game, and I think if Texas Tech wins that, I don't know, Texas Tech might still go even with 2 losses. Oregon has 1 loss. They play Oregon State. They win. They'll be 11-1. Ole Miss 10-1. Oklahoma 9-2. Oklahoma has beaten, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 4 top 25 teams.
Right. Oof. That's tough.
Yes, Oklahoma lost to Texas, but they only have 2 losses. 2. Now, last I checked, now if you play in golf, you want a higher number. You want to be -3, -4, -5, -15. But when it comes to ranking, the lower number matters. One team lost 2 games, ranked higher. The other team lost 3 games, ranked lower. So if that's the case, so let me get this straight. So what do we do with Michigan? If Michigan beats Ohio State, do we put them in? Because they've only lost 2 games, and they would have beaten Ohio State, the team that you lost to. So how does that work? So Chad, let's have some fun right now. So what's going on? How do we resolve this? If Michigan beats Ohio State tomorrow, they'll be 10-2. Will they beat the number 1 team in the country? Texas gets in, they're 9-3, lost to that same team. So you put Texas in over Michigan.
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. But does it always make sense in who the committee chooses to go to the playoffs? Has it always made sense?
No, because a lot of people thought Alabama was going to make it last year, and they didn't. And I think Alabama had 2 losses, right? Alabama was the only 2-loss team that didn't make it. the thing is, and look, you get this. This is what you get, Ocho.
Yeah.
Because remember, it says, okay, it used to be, well, it was so arbitrary because you had the 2 highest ranked teams and you play for the national championship. And then it says, okay, we're going to take the 4 teams. And then that wasn't enough. And they said we're going to take 8 teams. And that wasn't enough. I mean, pretty soon, you're going to have damn near 40 teams playing.
Yeah.
At some point in time, these kids got to go to school. Damn. Because, okay, you got your top 4 seeds. They have byes. But everybody else got to play. So you have the opening round. Then you have the quarterfinals. Then you have, the quarterfinals, then the semifinals, and then the finals. Hell, these kids going to be – I get it. It's damn near like professional football now.
Yeah,
but these kids damn near going to be playing football in February.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And some of them, Ocho, got draft coming up, got the combine.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? You think some players, especially those that are high round picks, you think they'll elect not to play?
That's going to be interesting, Ocho, because what we've seen in the past, if teams weren't competing for a national championship, some of the guys, the Leonard Fournettes, Christian McCaffreys, some of those top tier guys didn't play.
Right.
It would be very, very interesting to see. Let's just say, I don't know off the top of my head who would it be, but would they consider sitting out?
Right. Hell, you listen. Honestly, to me, you can't play the game of football being
lost to Michigan in the bowl game. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, to me, the game of football, you can't think about it. You can't be scared playing the game of football. You done played all season long. You made it this damn far. I mean, one more game, get out there and do what you need to do to continue to show the scouts, what you can do, and obviously playing against better competition. Shoot, I don't know. They
play now, it'll be 4 rounds, right? So you play the first round, and then you'll play second round, then you play the third round, and then you play the national championship game. So somebody's gonna have to win. Somebody's gonna have to win 4 games, Ocho.
Yeah, basically.
So somebody theoretically Indiana or Ohio State could set the record and be 16-0. Because there have been a couple of teams, LSU and Clemson, that was 15-0. So now you play basically an NFL season. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how this thing plays out. Texas did look impressive tonight, but I think it was a little bit. I think the Florida loss really killed them.
Yeah.
Right. The top 4 teams have byes. 3 games. Okay. Yeah, Texas, you'd probably had I think Texas would have had a more compelling argument, Ocho, if you don't lose to Florida. You can't lose to Florida.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that's
everybody know Florida's a barn fire.
Mm-hmm. That's probably gonna hurt them.
Yeah,
that's probably gonna hurt them.
The question is, how far does Texas A&M fall? I don't think Texas A&M drop it out of the top 10. I mean, they went to Notre Dame and beat Notre Dame. Let's see where Notre Dame's ranked. Notre Dame's ranked number 9. They've been on the road to beat Notre Dame. How many ranked teams have has A&M beat?
At the time, they beat number 8 Notre Dame, number 20 LSU.
Yeah.
22 Missouri.
So they had 3 wins over ranked teams at the time that they played them.
Right.
Missouri, Notre Dame, and LSU. So they had wins over 3 ranked teams. How many wins does Texas have over ranked teams besides tonight?
3 wins over top 10 teams.
Okay, they beat A&M tonight. Oklahoma. Yeah. Vanderbilt. Okay. Vanderbilt's ranked number 14. Oklahoma's ranked number 8, and A&M's ranked number 3. Yeah. So Oklahoma was 6 at the time. Vanderbilt was 9 at the time. But Florida was like 117th at the time. So all the good deeds that you done got undid by that. But it's going to be very interesting. They make a compelling case with how they took care of Texas A&M.
Yeah.
It's going to just be hard to put a three-loss team in. That's all, because I mean Alabama last year they beat number 1 Georgia. They had some compelling wins, so it's going to be very, very interesting. It's going to be very, very interesting. I think like Ohio State, Indiana, A&M, and Georgia. I think they're locks.
Yeah.
Alabama wins. Alabama's in.
Nope.
Now, what'll be interesting, Ocho,
yes.
if they win, get to the SEC championship and lose. Now but they're saying this is why they want to do away with conference championships. Because now all of a sudden somebody just sitting back with their heels up that didn't make the conference championship,
right?
And I lose. Now we got the same number of losses where they say, well, we saw you lost last just Saturday, so we're gonna put this other team that didn't play.
Ooh, yeah.
I think that's why they're kind of heading to the direction, Ocho. They're gonna just do away with the conference championship.
Yeah. That's somewhat unfair.
Absolutely.
Unfair.